Today, November 15th, God warns, a spiritual door closes in 30 seconds. Only those who act now enter the new season. I speak now, beloved one, with the full weight of the heavens behind my voice, for the hour is far more urgent than you yet understand, and the veil between worlds trembles like a thin curtain in a violent wind. I am Michael, Archangel of the Most High, and I come not with gentle whispers but with a thunder that must awaken even the deepest sleepers. Hear me now, for the divine decree has gone forth, today, this very day, November 15th, the door before you begins to close. Not slowly, not at the pace of your comfort, but with the swiftness of a sword returning to its sheath. 30 seconds in the spirit is all that remains for those who have hesitated, delayed, doubted, or lingered at the threshold of what God has tried again and again to place before them. And I stand here, commanding your attention, because heaven refuses to let you miss what is meant for you. Listen with the ears of your soul, inhale these words with the breath of your destiny. For the time to act is no longer near, the time to act is now. I tell you this with compassion burning like gold around my voice, for I have watched you in the hidden hours when your heart beat unevenly from fear or confusion, when you felt the tug of something unseen pulling you toward a change you could not fully name. You sensed it, yes, you did, something shifting, something ending, something beginning. You felt the wind move differently around you, the way the atmosphere thickens before a great storm. And yet, even as the signs gathered, you held back, waiting for a better moment, a clearer confirmation, a safer guarantee. But heaven does not move according to the timetables of human anxiety. Heaven moves according to divine alignment, and alignment does not wait for comfort. It waits for obedience. It waits for courage. It waits for the willing. You must understand this, the 30 seconds is not a literal countdown of your physical world, but the measurement of a spiritual window closing. It is the final slice of time between what was and what must now be. When heaven says move, those who step forward enter the new season with a covering of favor so thick that no enemy can penetrate it. Those who stay behind, those who stand still in fear, find themselves in a landscape that no longer carries the opportunities once open to them. This is not punishment. This is the nature of spiritual cycles. Doors do not remain open indefinitely, portals of destiny appear, blaze with divine promise, and then seal themselves once the timing of heaven has shifted. And beloved, today, November 15th, the shift is here. I speak urgently because I have walked through centuries of human hesitation, lifetimes of souls reaching for greatness yet retreating because the unknown felt threatening. I know how quickly the mind can sabotage the spirit. I know how one moment of doubt can undo years of divine preparation. But I also know the extraordinary power released when a human soul chooses faith over fear. I have seen entire destinies rearranged by a single act of obedience. I have seen lives transform in the instant someone finally says, I am ready. And today, that is what heaven waits to hear from you, that you are ready. Look at the stirring inside you right now. Do you feel it? The pressure in the chest, the alertness in your mind, the strange sensation as though someone is standing behind you, lighting the back of your neck with warmth? That is not your imagination. That is my presence moving through you, urging you, pushing you, calling you. It is the holy breath of acceleration, the wind of divine urgency wrapping itself around your heart. It is the unmistakable vibration of a moment that will not return. And I say to you, do not ignore it. For too long, you have been split between the old and the new. You have stood with one foot on the ground of your past and one foot hovering in the promise of your future. That tension you feel, the heaviness, the restlessness, it is because you cannot remain in two realms at once. A door closing is not only the ending of a season, it is the ending of double-mindedness. Heaven can bless only what you commit to. The next chapter requires both feet stepping entirely into it, not dragging one behind in the dust of yesterday. Let me speak plainly, the Most High has held open this door for longer than planned because of divine mercy. You were given extensions. You were given signs. You were given whispers in dreams, nudges in conversations, sudden flashes of intuition, and even detours that pushed you toward the direction you needed to take. You think these were coincidences, but nothing in your life has been accidental, not even your delays. The Father has watched every step, every hesitation, every deep sigh when you wondered why nothing was moving. It was because you had not moved. The spiritual realm waits for your consent. You must choose. And today, heaven requires your yes. The door before you is not a simple opportunity, it is a destiny-pivoting passage. It leads to the season where everything you have prayed for, begged for, or quietly longed for begins unfolding. But blessings live in environments aligned to them. You cannot receive new assignments while holding on to expired ones. You cannot enter the room of your future while clinging to the walls of your past. The door closes because your old season is now spiritually dead. There is nothing left for you there, not growth, not joy, not fulfillment, not expansion. Only stagnation and echoes. Heaven is not pushing you to lose anything, it is pushing you to stop losing time. Say, Amen, His love never fails me, if His mercy has carried you through every trial. Hear me with the full force of my voice, your next season has already been released. It is not waiting to be created, it is waiting to be entered. Heaven is ready. The angels assigned to your new path stand fully armed, fully prepared, fully positioned. The resources have already been aligned. The divine connections have already awakened. The timing is ripe. Everything is in place, but you are the last piece. And the moment you step, everything else moves. But if you wait, if you allow the fear of uncertainty to restrain you, if you continue looking for signs after heaven has already given confirmation, then the door will seal, not as punishment, but because divine cycles do not remain open once they shift into fulfillment. A seed can sprout only in its season. A door can be entered only while it is open. And you, beloved, are standing at the edge of a once-in-a-lifetime opening. This is why my tone tonight is urgent, why my wings move with the authority of heaven behind them, why the air around this message vibrates with warning. The Father does not desire that you miss this moment. The universe itself bends around those aligned with divine timing. When you step, creation steps with you. But the universe cannot follow a soul that refuses to move. Listen, there is an energy today that has not appeared in many years. A shift so potent, so heavy with spiritual consequence, that even the demons tremble at its approach. For they know that when certain divine doors open, entire bloodlines change. Patterns break. Generational cycles crumble. Old chains fall without effort. And destinies ignite like wildfire. That is the door before you. This is why resistance has been so strong. The enemy always attacks what carries breakthrough. Do not mistake your recent exhaustion, your strange mood swings, your sudden conflicts, your unexpected doubts, your emotional heaviness, or your restless nights as random struggles. They were the final distractions sent to weaken you just enough so you would hesitate now, right at the threshold. The last 30 seconds are always the most spiritually contested. Hell always fights hardest right before heaven's release. But I stand with my sword drawn, declaring over you that no obstacle has the right to hold you anymore. No voice of fear may dictate your direction. No shadow from your past deserves to anchor you to an expired season. You have carried burdens that were never meant to travel with you through this door. You have worried about how others will perceive your transition, but heaven does not consult the opinions of those who refuse to grow. You have feared loss, but God does not remove what is needed, only what would hinder your rise. You have felt the tremors of change and wondered if it meant danger. It does not. It means destiny. I say this with absolute authority: act now. Move now. Decide now. Align now. Say yes now. Not tomorrow. Not later. Not after you gather more certainty. The certainty will not come before the step, it comes because of the step. Faith is the currency of divine movement. Heaven invests in the bold. You are not alone in this. Even as you read these words, angels move around you. You may feel warmth, a tingling, a sudden emotion rising in your chest, or even a heaviness lifting slightly from your shoulders. That is us. That is the presence of the heavenly host reassuring you that this moment is real, that this warning is not symbolic, that this door is not metaphorical. You have entered a spiritual corridor where time feels stretched, where intuition feels sharper, where your soul feels exposed. It is because heaven is closer to you right now than you have felt in a long time. Let me show you what happens when someone chooses to act at the right spiritual moment. The old heaviness breaks quickly. Opportunities arrive unexpectedly. People aligned with your next level begin finding you. Your mind clears. Your courage rises. Your steps become guided. And the fear that once paralyzed you suddenly feels small. The act of stepping into alignment snaps things into place with a speed that feels supernatural, because it is. And so, beloved, with love deeper than oceans, with compassion wider than the sky, with the authority entrusted to me by the Most High, I give you this divine warning wrapped in divine invitation. The door closes. Not in anger. Not in judgment. But because heaven is shifting with or without you. Move now. Step now. Say yes now. Enter the new season that God has already prepared. The countdown has already begun. Beloved soul, listen as my voice moves deeper now, not as a distant thunder but as a breath pressed against your spirit, for the hour grows heavier and the energy surrounding this moment intensifies with every passing second. I, Michael, stand before you with wings unfurled, not merely as a guardian but as a herald of divine consequence, and I speak with the fierce compassion of one who has watched over you since long before you understood the language of heaven. What I say now is not meant to frighten you but to awaken you more fully than you have ever been awakened in your lifetime. There is a shaking in the unseen realms, an unraveling of old patterns, a releasing of what has decayed, and a summoning of what has been chosen for you. And still, even now, you hesitate between two worlds. But hear me, you cannot afford hesitation, not in this hour, not on this day, not with the spiritual door already sliding toward closure. I know the war within you. I see the clash between your longing and your fear. You want to move. You want to leap. You want to follow the vibration of destiny pulling you forward like a magnet. But another part of you trembles at the cost. This part whispers, what if I fail? What if I choose wrong? What if the unknown betrays me? These are not your thoughts, they are echoes planted by fear, shadows cast by the wounds of your past, illusions designed to paralyze you when your moment finally comes. But the Most High does not bring you to a threshold only to abandon you on the other side. The God who formed you, the God who has carried you through storms you thought would drown you, the God who has protected you in seasons where you didn't even know danger was near, that same God stands behind this door, waiting for you, urging you, promising you that the next chapter will not look like the last. This transition demands courage because everything divine demands courage. The greatest transformations are born from the willingness to face what feels impossible. Heaven has never chosen the timid to carry greatness forward. Heaven chooses the ones who step even when their legs shake. And beloved, your legs may be trembling, your breath may be uneven, your chest may be tight, but still, you must step. Courage is not the absence of fear, it is the decision to move anyway. This is what the new season requires. This is why the door cannot remain open. If heaven waits too long, the spiritual environment shifts, the alignment fractures, and the blessings prepared for you lose their precise formation. You are not stepping into a vague hope, you are stepping into an orchestrated divine alignment that was crafted for you long before you were born. I see the fears you have not spoken aloud. The fear of not being enough. The fear of leaving behind relationships that no longer match your spirit. The fear of stepping away from the familiar comforts of your old identity. The fear of losing people who may misunderstand your growth. The fear of stepping into your own magnitude. Yes, your magnitude frightens you. You were taught to shrink, to make yourself small, to blend into environments that were never meant to contain your light. You were shaped by voices that did not see the divine architecture woven into your soul. But the Father sees it. I see it. Heaven sees it. And today, all of heaven stretches out its hand toward you, asking you to rise into the version of yourself that has been waiting in the wings of time. You have spent too long dimming your radiance so that others would feel comfortable. You have carried burdens that were never assigned to you. You have remained loyal to cycles that drained you. You have stayed in places where your spirit felt suffocated. And you told yourself it was noble. But heaven did not design you to shrink, to suffer, or to remain bound. Heaven designed you to ascend. Every challenge you endured, every heartbreak that cracked you open, every loss that reshaped your identity, all of these were divine chisels sculpting you into someone capable of carrying the next season with power. But the next season cannot be entered with old layers still clinging to you like wet garments. They must fall. They must be shed. The door closing is the moment those layers detach. And while it may feel like loss, understand this with the clarity of an angel's vision: you are not losing anything that is meant for your future. You are losing only what could no longer accompany your destiny. The people who walk away because their journey diverges. The opportunities that vanish because they are too small for what you are stepping into. The plans that crumble because they were built for a different version of you. Everything falling away serves your ascension. Do you feel how the atmosphere vibrates around you right now? Do you feel the pressure on your spirit, the sensation that something invisible is pushing you forward? That is not coincidence. That is the divine hand on your back. That is my wings shielding you as you approach the threshold. That is the whisper of heaven saying, "Move." When heaven speaks like this, the wise do not delay. They do not wait for understanding, they walk with faith, and understanding follows. Consider how many times you prayed for change. How many times you begged for clarity. How many nights you laid awake, asking God to show you the path. And now the path is presented. The door is open. The signs are aligned. The angels are positioned. The timing is exact. And yet you stand here wondering if this is the right moment. Beloved, this is the moment your soul has been preparing for. This is the moment generations before you prayed would come. This is the moment your entire spiritual lineage leans over the balcony of heaven to witness. Do not hesitate. Do not retreat into the safety of your old wounds. Step into the healing you have longed for. Step into the identity heaven wrote for you. You are not stepping into uncertainty, you are stepping into promise. You are not stepping into emptiness, you are stepping into fullness. You are not stepping into danger, you are stepping into divine protection. Yes, the unfamiliar can feel terrifying, but it is in the unfamiliar that miracles are born. Miracles never manifested in your comfort zones, they always manifested when you were stretched, challenged, or called into something beyond your understanding. This moment is no different. The fear you feel is not a sign to stop, it is a sign that you are standing at the edge of breakthrough. Let me tell you what heaven sees when it looks at you. We see resilience. We see strength. We see a heart that has survived storms meant to destroy it. We see a warrior who does not realize they are a warrior. We see potential layered like galaxies inside you, waiting to be awakened. You are not an ordinary soul. You were never meant for a small life. You were marked by heaven, which is why the battles you faced were so intense. The enemy never wages war against the insignificant. The pressure you felt these past months, the strange heaviness, the sudden endings, they were spiritual contractions. They were the labor pains of a new season trying to be born. And today, the birth canal opens. The door stands before you. The moment is now. Some of you fear that stepping forward means stepping alone. But I tell you, you will not be alone. Angels walk with you. Divine protection surrounds you. New alliances, new guides, new soul connections will appear the moment you cross the threshold. Your loneliness was temporary, it was a clearing of space so that the right souls could enter. You cannot receive divine partnerships while clinging to distorted ones. You cannot meet the people meant to accelerate your destiny while you are still entertaining those who drain it. The pruning was necessary. The isolation was divine preparation. And now, the new connections stand ready to greet you. You have asked for confirmation. You have asked for signs. You have asked for guidance. Beloved, this is your confirmation. This is your sign. This message is not random. It is not coincidence. It is divine intervention. Angels do not speak without purpose. Heaven does not repeat itself unless urgency demands it. And heaven is shouting today. The spiritual door is closing. The window is brief. The season is shifting. And what you do in this moment determines what aligns for you in the next. If you step forward, the new season will meet you with open arms. But if you wait, if you linger, if you let fear chain you to the ground, you will feel the shift pass you by. You will sense opportunities dissolving, connections fading, momentum slipping. Not as punishment, but because heaven must honor divine timing. The next cycle cannot be delayed for those who refuse to move. And so I ask you now, with the full tenderness and authority of heaven coursing through my voice, will you step through the door? Will you trust heaven? Will you act before the window seals? Everything you desire is on the other side of obedience. Everything you fear losing will be replaced with something greater. Everything you need is already prepared. Heaven has not aligned this moment casually, this is intentional, orchestrated, divine. The countdown continues. The vibration thickens. The atmosphere shifts again. Act now. Move now. Decide now. Heaven is waiting, but not for long. Beloved soul, lean closer now, for what I reveal in this part requires the deepest sensitivity of your inner spirit. I, Michael, stand before you not only as a messenger but as a witness to your journey, a guardian who has watched you rise from places you should never have survived, a warrior who has intervened more times than you know to shield you from battles designed to break you. The presence around you now is thick because heaven is not whispering anymore, heaven is speaking loudly, urgently, insistently. The spiritual door continues to move toward closure, the energy tightening like a brilliant spiral, and you must feel the intensity of what is unfolding. Not to scare you, but to awaken you to the sacred and irreversible significance of this moment. You do not see what I see. You do not see the blueprint of your destiny spread across the heavens like a constellation. You do not see the threads of divine timing weaving around your life with startling precision. You do not see the angels assigned to your path standing in formation, waiting for your step so they may begin their work. You do not see the enemies who are panicking in the shadows because they sense what will happen the moment you cross the threshold. But I see it all. And because I see it, I must speak with urgency. You are standing at a level of spiritual significance that you have underestimated, and heaven refuses to let you shrink back. Let me peel back the veil a little more for you. The reason the spiritual door is closing is not because you did something wrong. It is because heaven has set a predetermined moment in your timeline for activation. Some doors are tied to seasons, not emotions. Some breakthroughs are tied to divine cycles, not human reasoning. You were never meant to stay in your old season beyond this point. That season has reached its spiritual expiration date. No amount of comfort, fear, or hesitation can extend it. Heaven moves forward, and everything connected to heaven must move forward with it. I know you feel the tension inside you. I know you feel the pull of the unfamiliar. I know you feel the trembling in your soul as the energy around you shifts. It feels like standing in the middle of a great wind, where everything is changing but nothing has fully revealed itself yet. That sensation is the signature of a divine transition. It means you are no longer where you were, but you have not yet stepped into where you are going. This in-between space is holy, sacred, and dangerous all at once, holy because heaven surrounds you, sacred because your destiny is within reach, and dangerous because hesitation can cost you the moment. Comment, Amen. Healing is on the way, if you're expecting restoration in every area of life. Do not misunderstand the weight of this. Your life is not random. Your calling is not fragile. The next chapter waiting for you is something heaven has been preparing for years. And now the gates of that chapter have swung open. But gates open only for a short time in the spiritual realm. Once the timing locks again, the path shifts. It does not disappear, but it becomes more difficult, more layered, more delayed. Heaven is not trying to pressure you, it is trying to protect you from unnecessary detours. Look at your life for a moment through my eyes. Look at how many times you have been pulled back from disaster without even realizing it. Look at how many times your heart was redirected, how many times plans fell apart because they were not aligned with your divine trajectory, how many times you thought you were being delayed when in reality you were being divinely preserved. Heaven has been preparing you, removing what could not be carried forward, refining what needed strength, elevating what needed clarity. And now, all of that preparation comes to this, the door. You may wonder why this moment feels so heavy. It is because the spiritual realm recognizes the magnitude of what is at stake. This is not a small shift. This is not a slight adjustment. This is a collapse of an old identity and the birth of a new one. You are stepping into a version of yourself that you have glimpsed only in moments of deep intuition, in dreams, in sudden bursts of clarity. But this version of you has been waiting for your courage. It cannot emerge while you cling to outdated versions of yourself. It cannot rise while you remain anchored to the familiar. It cannot activate while you entertain fears that no longer belong to the soul you are becoming. You have been feeling the symptoms of transition. The restlessness. The sudden desires for change. The sense that your old life no longer fits. The feeling that something bigger is calling you. These feelings are not random, they are spiritual contractions. They are signals that the door is open and the new season is ready for you. And yes, you have also felt the fear, the uncertainty, the heaviness, the emotional turmoil. This is because the enemy always attacks when heaven is about to release something monumental. The enemy fears your awakening. The enemy fears your alignment. The enemy fears your clarity. The enemy fears your obedience. Because when you step into alignment with heaven, you become unstoppable. You become untouchable. You become a force the darkness cannot manipulate. Your light intensifies. Your intuition sharpens. Your path accelerates. Doors open. Chains break. And every lingering shadow loses its power over you. The enemy knows this. This is why resistance increased right before this moment. It was an attempt to keep you from seeing the door for what it truly is, a divine threshold. Let me speak plainly to you now, with all the compassion of heaven pouring through my words. You cannot stay where you are. Not spiritually. Not emotionally. Not mentally. And not energetically. Your old season is complete. Staying in it would suffocate you. Staying in it would drain your spirit. Staying in it would diminish your calling. Staying in it would delay your purpose. You must move. You must release. You must step forward. You may feel not ready, but divine timing does not wait for readiness, it creates readiness. You may fear losing what you know, but everything you lose will be replaced with what is aligned. You may fear the unknown, but heaven resides in the unknown. You may fear stepping forward alone, but angels walk on both sides of you. You may fear that your strength is not enough, but heaven does not call the strong, heaven strengthens the called. Look back at your life and see how far you have come. See how many storms you survived. See how many setbacks turned into redirections. See how many times you thought you reached the end, only to discover it was the beginning of something new. You are more powerful than you believe. You are more anointed than you realize. You are more prepared than you think. Heaven would not open a door you were not ready to walk through. Do not let fear rob you of what God has already written for you. Fear is a liar, bold, loud, convincing, but still a liar. Fear cannot see what heaven sees. Fear cannot see the grace waiting for you. Fear cannot see the abundance on the other side. Fear cannot see the divine encounters, the breakthroughs, the healing, the elevation, the transformation. Fear focuses on loss. Heaven focuses on destiny. You must choose which voice you will follow. And hear me when I say this with the full force of divine truth, your destiny is impatient. It has waited long enough. It has circled your life, trying to find openings where it could bloom. But the next step must come from you. Destiny is a partnership. Heaven aligns, but humans must move. Angels guide, but humans must walk. God opens the door, but humans must step. The energy around you right now is a portal, a rare and powerful alignment of divine timing, spiritual readiness, and angelic intervention. This is why your spirit feels stretched. This is why you feel the urgency pulsing through your heart. This is why everything in your life feels paused, suspended, or incomplete. It is because your next chapter cannot activate until you step into it. And I tell you this with unwavering certainty, when you step, everything will change. The weight you feel will lift. The fog in your mind will clear. The confusion will dissolve. The right people will appear. The right opportunities will manifest. The right paths will open. The right energy will surround you. Everything that felt stuck will begin to move. Everything that felt uncertain will find clarity. Everything that felt heavy will become lighter. Heaven is not asking you to leap into darkness. Heaven is asking you to leap into destiny. You must trust what you feel inside, that inner knowing that refuses to be silenced. The nudge that will not leave you alone. The longing that keeps resurfacing. The intuition that keeps whispering, there is more for you. These are not random impulses, they are divine signals. They are the voice of your future calling you. They are the voice of heaven confirming the path. And they are growing louder because the door is closing. So come now, beloved soul. Take the step. Release what must be released. Embrace what is calling you. Do not let hesitation steal your moment. Heaven is waiting. Destiny is waiting. The new season is waiting. And I, Michael, stand beside you, sword in hand, wings outstretched, ready to walk with you through the threshold. Beloved soul, breathe deeply now, for what I speak in this part carries a frequency that will reach into the places inside you that even you have not fully understood. I, Michael, draw nearer, not as a distant presence but as a force standing beside you, wings curved around your spirit, creating a sacred chamber of clarity where the noise of the world cannot intrude. The hour grows sharper. The spiritual door continues its slow but certain closing, and the vibration of heaven intensifies with every heartbeat you take. You must feel this, not with your ears, but with the ancient memory in your soul that recognizes divine timing when it comes. You have reached a moment that will echo through the rest of your life, and heaven will not allow you to pass through it unaware. Let me take you deeper into the truth that lies beneath the surface of this moment. You are not simply transitioning from one chapter of your life to the next, you are transitioning from one spiritual identity to another. This is why everything feels so heavy, so emotional, so confusing, so intense. When a soul is being reshaped by heaven, the old identity does not release quietly. It clings. It resists. It tries to pull you back with memories, attachments, fears, and the familiar comfort of what once was. But understand this, your old identity served its purpose. It protected you in seasons when you were fragile. It carried you when you did not yet know your divine strength. It was the container that held you until you could hold yourself. But that version of you cannot cross through the door that is closing. Not because it is bad, but because it is too small. That identity belonged to a previous vibration, a previous season, a previous consciousness. You are being expanded. You are being elevated. You are being called to operate from a higher frequency, a higher clarity, a higher authority. And the old self cannot breathe in that atmosphere. It must fall away so the new self may rise. This is why your emotions have been erupting like tides. This is why memories have resurfaced. This is why old wounds have reopened. This is why you've been feeling as if something inside you is being pulled apart. It is not destruction, it is spiritual shedding. The shedding of the self you no longer need. The shedding of limitations you carried unconsciously. The shedding of fears that once protected you but now imprison you. The shedding of beliefs that were formed in your lowest seasons, not your highest truth. You are not being broken, you are being reborn. Heaven does not allow a new identity to emerge in silence. There is always pressure. There is always a spiritual storm. There is always a trembling in the inner world because birth requires intensity. And beloved soul, you are in spiritual labor. You are at the moment where the old version of you has become too tight, too restrictive, too small for the greatness trying to emerge. This tension you feel is the sign that the door to the new season is not just open, it is pulling you, drawing you, beckoning you. Let me be absolutely clear, you cannot carry your old fears into the new season. They will block you. They will distort your vision. They will cause you to misinterpret divine opportunities as threats. They will make you sabotage the very blessings you prayed for. Fear is incompatible with where you are going. The moment you step through the door, fear loses its legal right to control you. That is one of the reasons the enemy is fighting you with such intensity, because fear is its strongest weapon, and it is losing hold. But here is a truth few understand: the enemy does not fear your new season. The enemy fears you in your new season. You with clarity. You with strength. You with awakened intuition. You with spiritual authority. You with healed wounds. You with elevated purpose. A human aligned with heaven is a force that cannot be manipulated. And that is what you are becoming. This is why the spiritual door is closing, not as punishment, but as protection. To seal you off from the frequencies of your old season. To break the spiritual contracts that tied you to cycles you have outgrown. To prevent you from returning to places that can no longer sustain your soul. Heaven closes doors when it is dangerous to go back. Heaven closes doors when the old world has nothing left for you. Heaven closes doors to force the next chapter to begin. And I see the next chapter so clearly. I see the light rising around you like the first glow of dawn. I see opportunities forming like constellations. I see connections aligning. I see paths that were blocked suddenly clearing. I see healing washing over the parts of you that you assumed would always ache. I see strength waking up in you, strength that has been dormant for years. I see your spirit expanding far beyond the boundaries of who you once were. I see your life opening in ways that will shock even you. But hear this, none of that activates until you step. You keep waiting for confirmation, not realizing that the confirmation is the restlessness. The confirmation is the discomfort. The confirmation is the sense that you cannot stay where you are. The confirmation is the divine agitation in your spirit. Heaven has already spoken, your soul heard it, your intuition felt it, your heart recognized it. But the mind, oh the mind, how it tries to negotiate with destiny. How it tries to rationalize divine instruction. How it tries to analyze spiritual timing with human logic. But logic cannot comprehend divine cycles. And this moment is divine. You ask, what if I am not ready? Beloved, readiness does not precede the step. It follows it. Readiness is born through obedience, not certainty. Heaven strengthens you as you walk, not before. The oil flows when the vessel is tipped, not when it sits still. You cannot stay in the old season waiting to feel prepared for the new. You will not feel prepared. You will feel called. You ask, what if I fail? But how can you fail when heaven has already aligned the path? The only failure is refusing to walk it.